we see marriage, we also see, with respect to its impact on fatherhood and engagement. A lot of my research actually focuses on fatherhood and looking at their past experiences, how it impacts their parenting, their relationship outcomes, and things of that nature. But of any other relationship status, being married, those fathers are more likely to have a co-residential status with their children. All right. But here's the thing. This is what the enemy wants to do. So no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Family, what the enemy is trying to do, he is trying to bind the father in the home. Not only bind the father in the home, but just take him out of the picture altogether. Because the goods that he is trying to spoil, those goods are those kiddos involved. Come on now. He wants to throw them off course early on. Because see, God is concerned about the replication of his righteous seed in the earth. But if the enemy can come in and sow seeds that are not godly, or sow experiences that get that child's thinking off, see, he's concerned about the productivity of that seed. He doesn't want that seed to bear much fruit. And so he's trying to throw everything that he can to take and remove those protections from that child. And so what we see is that there's an attack on men in their rightful places, and understanding their significance and the value that they add, or even understanding their role in the home. Come on now. And even with their heart toward their family, even with just basic integrity. Because now what it means to be a man is sowing your sowing your oats, but it's not according to the word of God. We have to say, what is real manhood? Because really, it's like, that's the foundation. Where is the priest in the home? That's the foundation. And so the enemy is trying to remove that, and that puts heightened stress on everybody involved. So let's keep it moving to the next slide. And as we saw before, we see how that child's brain is shaped by that trauma. How the areas of the brain that should be growing, we're seeing atrophy. We're not seeing those connections being made. The areas of the brain that are control of learning are negatively affected by trauma. The parts of the brain that control our reward and pleasure system, negatively affected by trauma. And so here's the thing, the enemy, he wants to just prevent marriages from occurring at a period. As we saw before, that declining rate in marriage, the lowest marriage rate that we've seen historically, we're seeing that now. There's a narrative out there that's just saying it doesn't matter anymore. Even in my field, I'll tell on my field. Even in my field, which is child and family development, I'm not going to name the organization, but one of our national organizations said that family structure doesn't matter. It's the experiences of the child in the home that matter. Yes. So that's the narrative out there now. Okay, so here's the thing, is that God is concerned about the replication of his righteous seed within the earth, because the first command was for us to be fruitful and to multiply, and he wants that next seed, that next generation, to be unproductive, to be unfruitful. Because see, here's the thing, think about it. When Israel was on his deathbed, when Jacob was on his deathbed, what did he do? He spoke into the lives of his sons, and he told them their identity. And so the enemy is trying to knock godly identity off its course. And so that children are confused based on this trauma, and they want to define themselves by their trauma and find their identity in that. But because we don't have those fathers in the home speaking into their children, saying, this is who you are. This is your identity. You were made in the image of Christ. This is who you are. And so there's trying to be a removal of that, and that protective covering over that seed. All right. So moving right along. And so here's the thing, in Genesis, very first chapter of the Bible, where we see, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female created he them. So here's the thing. God's image, our character, our identity is in Him, and the enemy is trying to come in to remove the protection of the marriage, right? So, and because he wants to come against that productivity. That's what he's concerned about. So now that, oh my gosh, don't even let me go into all the seeds that aren't even coming to the earth. Come on now. So he's upset. He's upset. And so because God gave that command to marital couples early on, right? Gave it to us early on. God blessed him and God said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. See, God's righteousness has to last throughout the generations, right? So God's righteousness has to last throughout the generations, because the reality is that I'm not going to be here one day. But did I set something in course, set something in motion for the next generation to pick up the baton and hold up that banner, that bloodstained banner in the image of Christ, right? And so, and to have that dominion, because at the end of the day, God still has full control and authority. And He uses us to, as His kingdom ambassadors, to operate His truth and authority here in the earth. But if we don't even know we're kingdom ambassadors, we don't have anybody telling us our kingdom identity, then what's going on, family? That's the plan of the enemy, and it's a trick of the enemy. That's exactly what it is. But we are not ignorant of the enemy's devices, right?